What's up, Fearless Nation? Just finished watching Married at First Sight, and it's more of the same, It gets kind of redundant, but I tell you about these different couples, and I guess the only thing to say different each week is, we've kind of established their personalities already, so I guess now we're just talking about the individual situations that we find them in. And the one that kind of stood out tonight, besides Mirla and Gil, was Bao and Johnny. Bao seems to have a problem with the shower. She's not too big on hygiene. I guess hygiene to her is just a greeting. Johnny's a real clean guy. He takes sometimes, I believe they said 3 showers a day. And she was talking about, hey, sometimes I come home from the gym, I might not want to shower. Can I just lay in the bed? He's like, well, if you change the sheets, that's dirty. She's like, well, then can I sleep on the couch? And he's like, well, you can sleep in the bed, just change the sheets. Yeah, that's, I watched the after show too, and Johnny said something that the host was like, really, you took it there? But yeah, even Mirla on the Unfiltered show, when she was talking about not showering, Mirla's looking around like, did she really say that out loud? I mean, I think sometimes people forget they're not just talking to the person that's across from them. This is for everyone to see, so sure, you want to put that out there that you don't really like showering. I mean, when they were eating, I'm like, did she wash her hands? It's just kind of gross. And you're trying to impress this guy, and he's like a clean freak. Do you really want to come on national TV, if not world TV, talking about, she said something about how many times he showers within a day. She said, I might do that within a week. I'm like, okay, well, if that's true, you might want to keep that to yourself, especially since you're, trying to get to know this guy. I know she knew him before, but you're trying to get to know him now on a spousal, is that a word, spousal? On a spouse level, I just thought that was a trip. I haven't heard a woman talk like that before. That seems more like a dude thing, but even a dude probably ain't gonna verbalize it. But to hear a woman say she's not too big on keeping up with her man Johnny as far as cleanliness, that's a bit odd, strange, and simply disgusting. Now on to Meryl and Gil. Now Meryl's really close to his dog named Hype, and he's like, that's a part of him. And Gil's really close to the dog, and Meryl doesn't like dogs, and he's saying it'd be hard for him to want to even get to know Meryl anymore if she's not into dogs. He asked her would she walk his dog, and she's like, I'm not taking your dog out to walk. We can pay somebody to do that. And he's like, why would we pay somebody to do that when we got some, person that's willing and, healthy enough to do it? Why wouldn't you want to do it? She doesn't like dogs. So these two are, she is just not flexible. I was surprised to see her put her head on his shoulder, to be honest. I think she said she was a touchy person, because to me she seemed like she's not the most affectionate person in the world. They were talking about having children, and he wanted to have so many. She's like, that's not happening. I mean, no consideration for his feelings. He's just kind of looking at her like, really? And then, he said he'd like to adopt then. And she said, well, that's not happening, and she told the camera, that would be a last resort, if all the other fertility options couldn't take place. And I'm thinking, well, you just said you don't want to have them, so that's why I guess he brought up the adoption, but she's not flexible. It's just, I mean, what can you say about Mirla? She's just set in her ways. It's like she just wants somebody. in her life that's willing to co-sign the things that she's already doing. She's not willing to meet the person halfway. I know that you don't like dogs, but I mean, is it really that much of a strain to walk the dog? He said, I think twice a week he works 24 hours because he's a firefighter, and so he needs someone to walk the dog, and he's frugal with money, so he's thinking, why pay an outsider to walk the dog who the dog doesn't know? Why don't you walk him? He'll be used to your face, I guess he's thinking. He knows you, so why can't you walk him? How long does that take? But she's like, no, I'm not cleaning up the dog's mess and all that. So they showed a clip coming up from next week, and I don't know what happened, but they were in front of Pastor Cal, and she said something or did something where Gil said, well, if you do that, I'm going for a divorce. And Pastor Cal was like, wow. And then even Johnny told Val something about once something was over, he was going back home. So I guess Johnny's fed up with maybe Val not wanting to take a shower, and it seems like Gil's fed up with Marila's not wanting to bend in any direction, And I was surprised on the Unfiltered when they were talking about moving into each other's. The host asked Mirla about, how she would feel moving in with Gil or seeing where he lived, and she said, "Oh, I don't mind about where he lives. It's all about us." And I thought, when did that come from? That's kind of what Gil was saying before, like on the honeymoon. He's like, I don't care so much about what it looks like here. I'm more interested in being with you. And she acted like she couldn't understand that. And she said something twice that I thought was kind of disrespectful. She said, divorce check, like, I just thought, and she said that in front of everybody too when they were at the dinner table, and they were talking about, I forgot, they were talking about politics, and he was saying, what if you're Republican and she's like, no, and he said, well, we can still work through it. I might vote for somebody just because it helps my career. I don't necessarily have to like the politician. I just like the things he stands for. And she's like, that's a deal breaker. And he's like, you can work around that. That's a deal breaker. It seems like everything that doesn't go along with her pre-notions before she was married is a deal breaker with her. There's no compromise or anything. It's Mirla's way or divorce check, as she puts it. So, then they played a game on the boat when they're all on a boat called I Would Never Ever, and I Never Have, or something like that. And something like that. Anyway, Mirla admitted that she's cheated before. And Jose said, whoa, I married a cheater, referring to Gil. So she admitted she cheated before. And then on the Unfiltered show, when the host asked her about it, she was like, yeah, she didn't seem ashamed about it. She's like, no, I did it. And it's, something you learn from and to never repeat. But she seemed unremorseful. And I believe even Jose said he felt like being a cheater is very selfish. He said his dad cheated on his mom. And I was like, well, that fits Mirla. She seems to be pretty selfish. And, she's not. She's showing all the signs of it. And if you're going to cheat, that shows you don't really care about the other person. And that's what Jose, I think, even said, like, he felt like once a cheater, always a cheater. He said something to that effect, I believe. But Mirla just shows too many signs of a selfish person. And sometimes, though, I even said, as I was watching it, I was like, sometimes it seems like she's kind of nice under that, but she has a wall up. She's been by herself so long, so she doesn't want to seem too nice. I guess she thinks the man may take advantage of it and see her as a pushover. But she's just very difficult to deal with. You have to do everything her way. And I think Ryan and Brett are doing the best so far. I thought Bao and Johnny, but they look like they got some turbulence coming up. We'll see what happens with Michaela, and I think his name is Zach. I think they rejoin the show next week. And that's the names I couldn't think of last time, is Rachel and Jose. I just don't think they're gonna make it. They're starting off good, but they keep talking about money, and she wants to be independent, and he wants to give her independence, but at the same time take care of her. He was really impressed with himself, telling Rachel his credit score, and he's looking at her like, "Yeah, I know that impressed you." And she said, "Did you ask for someone to, to be on your level or have a high credit score or something? Did you tell the matchmakers that?" And he said, "Well, I asked for someone on my level or something to that effect." She kind of gave him a look like she didn't like that. But Mirla, if you're watching this, you got to be flexible. No matter who you get with, even if you have divorced or plan on divorcing Gil, you're going to have to be flexible. Can't be all your way or you're going to be single a long time. And Bao, hit up the shower. When she was jumping in the ocean or something, I said, I said, I said that Johnny should be happy she's getting in the ocean. Maybe that's the only water she's going to be in for a while. Tell her to, before she jump in the ocean, hey, catch this zest bar, grab this soap before you jump in. You got to think of slick ways to keep her clean, I guess. Anyway, what did you guys think about Bao and Johnny, Rachel and Jose, Ryan and Brett, and of course, our favorite couple, Gil and Mirla? Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and be fearless. Yay, yay.